introduction, Kyle. That was so kind. Okay, so I'm starting out tonight by reading some verse play poems, and I am going to have a couple people help me for the first two poems. The first poem I'm reading, Katie, is going to be DJ Oscar Wilde, okay? And my wonderful friend Paul is man number one. Okay?
Man number one.
Yeah. Okay, so this is Tuesday nights at Femme Mystique. Scene. DJ Oscar Wilde is perched in his booth to the left of the stage. A fog machine spurts into the atmosphere, bathing the swaying orange buttocks on stage in undulating waves of enigma. Men at tables masticate their hot wings open-mouthed, licking their fingers. Some of them fish dollar bills from their pockets, orphaning them on the stage like kittens. The pulsing music fades, and the DJ waves away multicolored fog and cups his microphone.
All right, all right, all right. You know what time it is, gentlemen.
An attendant drags the fog machine away by the tail. The lights dim to a golden glow, not unlike sunlight through beer. Mozart's Requiem suddenly thrust itself into the auditory orifices of the room.
The lovely, illustrious, indomitable, and ever so sensual Astrid!
The men sit upright, stop licking their chicken bones, watch as a woman with pink hair and sugar-shiny lips slinks from between the curtains. Astrid is platforms with terrariums inside, bodacious book-page loincloth. She palms a scalpel, slides it across her tongue first, then up the center of her stomach, pushing just through the skin. She pinches the corner of an incision, lifts her dermis, exposing cinnamon gumstick muscles. Astrid peels her pink tenderness just to her rib cage, slices it off. A man is drool pooling into his fry basket. Astrid sees this, tosses her skin, which slaps him over the eyes. His friends jump up and down, smack him on the back with extreme gusto. The room explodes into frenzy. There is clamoring for the stage. She dives the blade between thigh muscles, butchers a triangular piece of meat, weighs it in her right palm, purses her lips, tosses it underhand. The men slap bills face down onto the stage. A deep voice in the back of the room yells,
"Fuck yeah, take it off!"
Astrid strips away an ass cheek, a breast, some shapely calf, even a lump of earlobe. An electric bone saw lowers timidly from the ceiling. Astrid snakes her fingers around its girth, caresses the on switch. The saw whines, struggles over the pitch of violins and chorus. She holds it to her forehead, slides it around the radius of her skull. The men have piled all their bills into pert mounds on the edges of the stage. They throw coins instead, which clang like tiny swords inside ancient stones. Astrid gets on all fours, detaches the top of her skull, exposes silk ribbon curvatures. The men insert their bills between bone and brain, drop them into the skull bowl, hopeful little communions. The violin music fades. Astrid drags herself toward the red curtain, stopping with shallow breaths just on the threshold. The men see this and rush to her, take turns using the scalpel and bone saw.
All right, fellas, be nice. There's enough to go around.
Each triumphantly leaves with a stretch of skin, a nipple, a sternum, tucks them into their back pockets for later to rub between their fingers and hold to their noses, like perfumed love letters, like stained rabbit's feet. Thank you. Okay, and so for this next poem, I have my friends over here who are the Choir of Money. And then this poem has another character in it, and her name is Goldie, and she's the goddess of consumption and also the CEO of everything. And this is Goldie, played by Sarah. Okay. Tuesday nights at the Mall of America. Goldie, goddess of consumption, enters the Mall of America and assumes her throne in the food court. Neon lighting seeps onto hundreds of white bunny clones that slither at her feet. She surveys the room, waves her cloak. Rows of sale bins appear. Human hordes flock toward the shining costume relics. Golden cocktail rings, giant eyes expel gleamings onto polished tiles. The goddess wears sprinkle-dipped lips, stuffed silk Furbies in her hair. Gilt foils into clavicle caches, runs molten down bloodful arms. She commands her 50% lycra leavings, her one day only homages to humanity. Polyester printlets in pulsing mountains of flesh melds. Fabric-faced fawns dash price tags.
My special gifts, special someones, polish yourselves with the sharp edge of seasoned accessories, the perfect legwear pair, the finesse of being exclusively whole. In this communion of exchanges, I know you may be dinner-weary, but prostrate yourselves as accents to my table. I, the graceful hostess, promise you petticoats and polos, ecstasy of ephemera. I will nourish you to door-busting.
Goldie pulls one of her breasts from her Galliano gown and brings the customer's face to her erect nipple. He sucks avidly, moves his head away, and pulls a string of white Tahitian pearls from between his lips. The patron's team nurse from her gushing teats. Enter choir of money. They pass out tissue-papered piñata sticks, Bowie knives, lighter fluid, and matchbooks to the crowd.
Shoppers, delight! Sink yourselves, delve your arm swings into goddess flesh, devour intestinal trinkets and scorch the wrappings. Bear witness to eternal fire springs respindling.
Pigment splatters, screams of scarves seep from neck wounds, rhinestones tinkle from bent wrist bones. Goldie laughs, coughs up, powder blush palettes, is flattened into large bills of spun sugar, licked apart and bruleed. Her crisp skin fire cracks up in pearly mist. Bunnies twitter manic. Goddess reassembles, redirects the froth of revelry. Okay, so I just have about 5 more poems that are in the same series but are not verse play form. Okay? This one is called Greenery. Astrid smothered in smelted gold, eyes diamond crusty, races of men mine her mouth holds, till she's teeth plucked, plum tuckered, dynamite red-lipped, running up cheek sides. Someone cracks open old incisions, past shimmers of crushed mica. Looky right here, Eureka! Crunching hands scoop fetal mud, veins of molten chains, greenery of bills pouring. Marshmallow mucus screams out presidential face holes. Okay, this one is called House of Foals, and it's a dramatic monologue from Astrid's point of view. I hung myself in the house of foals, in a multiplicity of bunnies, fur pressing into me and ganglion legs, my eyes plucked and replaced with starbursts of nothingness. Rodent breath tightened the delicacy of my throat skin. They cut me down. I fell elven into Helheim. Burrowed my way past gold stores, masks of money, the filth of cash flows, picked through scabs marring mouths, gilded stitchings, rohypnol imbued. I slipped through gored tunnels to this chaos hovel. My voice chewed through rust neck cables. That dormant vermin slept tight, corded and cocooned itself with droppings. Offspring, they flee frenzied from my stomach's lit fire pit. I heave puddles of music, decorate my new domicile in puke fuchsia, which pomegranates itself into wall clusters. Hatch sacks of freedom, and all the seedworts of fortune dare to say is to echo back my own tones. Okay. This one is called Facsimile. Facsimile? Facsimile. Bunnies grind their bioengineered glow bodies, scratch and sniff strawberry fuzz piles to frothing, rub against patrons' flesh, discharge pheromones to foment the frenzied purchasing power. The hunger burrows, chest cavity cuddled into mighty throngs, moves like a Holy Spirit humming through teeth chatter, the Morse of modern man, the worship. Okay, and this is the last one I'm reading tonight. This one's called Spewing Sentience. Goldie taps the ergonomic veins of virgins, metallic galaxies drained or claw-footed tubs with apple pedicures. The goddess dips her face into the surface, the touch screen of death. She dribbles blooded lollipops of life into her lip space. The serum syrups itself, encases her in regeneration. Her retinas reflect the surrounding mounds. Bodies like waterfowl, small-breasted and breath-lost. They furnish the ceiling, too, furlowed into cadaverous permanence, bright carotid spewing sentience into Goldie's perfect machinery. Thank you.
All right.